8 poisons disguised as food that are quietly destroying the hearts of elderly Americans. Have you ever wondered why so many elderly Americans suffer from sudden heart disease? Could that food you love so much be slowly killing your older loved ones? What is the food industry hiding about the ingredients you consume every day? Heart disease remains the leading cause of death among seniors in the United States. The scariest thing is that many of the foods we consume daily are the main responsible for this silent epidemic. Every bite may be bringing our seniors closer to a heart attack or stroke, but few make that connection. Studies by the American Heart Association reveal that the typical American diet contains foods that deteriorate cardiovascular health over time. Let's get started. 1. Fast food, the ticking time bomb. Your heart is counting down. That juicy drive-thru burger may seem harmless, but it's loaded with saturated fats. A single fast food combo can contain more sodium than recommended for the entire day. According to research from Harvard University, regular consumption of fast food is directly linked to an increase in cardiovascular disease. The elderly are particularly vulnerable due to the cardiovascular system already weakened by aging. The statistics are alarming. People who consume fast food more than 3 times a week have an 80% higher risk of developing heart problems. The combination of low-quality fats, excess salt, and chemical additives creates a perfect storm for the heart. Every bite of a processed chicken nugget injects substances that promote inflammation into the arteries. Studies published in the Journal of the American Heart Association show that chronic inflammation is a precursor to heart attacks. Oils reused in fast food frying contain toxic compounds that damage the inner lining of blood vessels. A study conducted by the University of Minnesota demonstrated that seniors who quit fast food significantly improved their heart markers. But here's the most shocking part. The industry adds addictive substances to make sure you keep coming back. What if I told you that the next topic reveals an even more hidden danger on your supermarket shelves? 2. The salt trap. How processed foods are sabotaging your heart without you realizing it. Processed foods occupy approximately 70% of American supermarket shelves. That practical food in boxes and packages is full of preservatives, artificial flavors, and, especially, sodium. A single package of instant noodles can contain more than 1,500 milligrams of sodium. The American Heart Association recommends a maximum of 1,500 milligrams per day for older adults with heart problems. Excess sodium forces the kidneys to retain more water in the body, increasing blood volume. The resulting high blood pressure is like a hammer repeatedly striking the walls of the arteries, causing irreversible damage. Processed foods often contain high fructose corn syrup, which is associated with increased blood triglycerides. Research from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention indicates that Americans consume, on average, 3,400 milligrams of sodium daily. Mayo Clinic studies reveal that reducing the consumption of processed foods can lower the risk of heart failure by up to 30%. The elderly have reduced sensitivity to taste, leading them to consume more salty foods. Many don't even realize how much salt they're ingesting due to the flavors masked by chemical additives. A study published in the New England Journal of Medicine directly linked the consumption of ultra-processed foods to increased mortality from heart disease. The preservatives found in these foods can damage the gut microbiota, leading to systemic inflammation that affects the heart. And you won't believe what we find out about the next category of food that is quietly attacking the hearts of our seniors. 3. The sweet poison. The shocking truth about soft drinks that the industry doesn't want you to know. That refreshing can of soda hides a deadly secret for the cardiovascular system. A single can contains approximately 9 tablespoons of sugar, far beyond what is recommended daily for anyone. Regular consumption of sugary drinks is directly linked to weight gain and type 2 diabetes. Both conditions are significant risk factors for heart disease in older adults. Research from the University of California shows that drinking a soda a day increases the risk of heart problems by 23%. The high fructose corn syrup in soft drinks is processed by the liver differently than regular sugar. This results in high levels of triglycerides and LDL cholesterol, known as bad cholesterol. Studies published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology reveal that daily consumption of artificial soft drinks is also associated with heart risks. Artificial sweeteners can alter the gut microbiota, leading to insulin resistance and systemic inflammation. The caffeine present in many soft drinks can temporarily increase blood pressure and cause arrhythmias in susceptible people. The acidity of these drinks can also interfere with the absorption of cardiovascular medications, reducing their effectiveness. A 10-year study from Harvard University showed that replacing soda with water reduced the risk of heart attacks by 40%. And if you're thinking of swapping for industrialized juices, get ready for an unpleasant surprise in our next topic. 4. The invisible killer. Why trans fats are more dangerous than you might think. Trans fats are considered the worst fats for the human heart, according to the World Health Organization. Although partially banned in the United States, they are still present in many processed and industrialized foods. These artificial fats are created when vegetable oils are hydrogenated to increase the shelf life of products. Cookies, snacks, margarine, and fried foods often contain these dangerous compounds. Studies from Harvard University reveal that an increase of just 2% in the consumption of trans fats increases the risk of heart disease by 23%. Trans fats not only increase bad cholesterol, but they also lower good cholesterol, creating a double attack on the heart. They promote inflammation in the blood vessels, accelerating the process of atherosclerosis that blocks the arteries. The FDA estimates that completely eliminating trans fats could prevent thousands of heart attacks annually in the US. Older adults are especially vulnerable to the effects of trans fats due to their already compromised cardiovascular system. Many products labeled zero trans fat may still contain legally permissible amounts per serving. When multiple servings are consumed, the total amount can reach levels dangerous to the heart. A study in the Journal of Nutrition showed that trans fats stay in the body longer than other types of fat. What you'll find out about the following processed meats could completely change your next trip to the grocery store. 5. The bacon betrayal. How processed meats are compromising every beat of your heart. That delicious crispy bacon for breakfast hides a serious danger to the hearts of the elderly. Sausages, hams, turkey breasts, and other processed meats contain alarming levels of sodium and nitrates. The World Health Organization has classified processed meats as carcinogenic, but their effects on the heart are equally concerning. Studies conducted by the University of Michigan link regular consumption of these meats to a 58% increase in the risk of cardiovascular disease. Each daily serving of processed meat consumed increases the risk of developing heart failure in the elderly by 42%. The nitrates used to preserve and color processed meats can damage the inner lining of blood vessels. This facilitates the formation of fatty plaques that can eventually block blood flow to the heart. Processed meats are often prepared with saturated fats, which raise LDL cholesterol levels in the blood. The American Journal of Clinical Nutrition published a study linking the consumption of processed meats to decreased arterial elasticity. Less elastic arteries have greater difficulty transporting blood efficiently, increasing the work of the heart. Many seniors consume processed meats for convenience and price, without realizing the impact on their cardiovascular health. Researchers at Loma Linda University found that replacing processed meats with plant-based proteins reduced inflammatory markers in older adults. The next food on our list is so common in American homes that you probably have it in your pantry right now. 6. The fatal dessert. The hidden price of sweets that no one told you. Those delicious industrialized desserts hide a toxic cocktail for the hearts of the elderly. Cakes, cookies, pies, and industrialized ice cream combine refined sugar, low-quality fats, and chemical additives. Excess sugar causes insulin spikes that, over time, can lead to insulin resistance. This condition is directly linked to the development of type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease. Research from the National Heart Institute reveals that people who consume 25% or more of their calories in sugar have 3 times the risk of dying from heart disease. The hydrogenated fats present in many industrialized desserts increase inflammation in the arterial walls. Artificial preservatives and colors can trigger inflammatory responses that compromise cardiovascular health. Many seniors replace nutritious meals with desserts due to the change in taste that occurs with age. Studies from Tufts University show that frequent consumption of industrialized desserts is associated with increased waist circumference. The visceral fat accumulated in the abdominal region releases inflammatory substances that directly affect the heart. The American Journal of Preventive Medicine has published research correlating high consumption of industrialized desserts with arterial calcification. Even diet, or zero-sugar options, contain artificial sweeteners that can negatively affect metabolism and heart health. What's next about the snacks we all love will make you think twice before the next bite. 7. Addictive snacks. The industry's trick to make your arteries narrower with every bite. That bag of chips or pretzels is strategically formulated so you can't stop eating. The perfect combination of salt, fat, and crunch texture activates the brain's reward center, creating a vicious cycle. A single bag of snacks can contain more than 600 milligrams of sodium without any nutritional value. Studies from Cornell University reveal that most people consume 45% more than they intended when opening a package. The oils used in snack foods, when heated to high temperatures, form toxic compounds that directly damage heart cells. Acrylamide, a potentially carcinogenic substance formed during the frying of starches, can also damage the cardiovascular system. Snack foods are often eaten between meals, adding empty calories and extra sodium to the diet of the elderly. Researchers at the American Heart Association found that regular consumption of snack foods is associated with drug-resistant hypertension. The easy-to-chew texture makes the snacks particularly popular among seniors with dental problems. Unfortunately, this replaces nutritious foods needed to maintain cardiovascular health in this age group. A study in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology showed that replacing snack foods with nuts reduced inflammatory markers by 50%. The industry invests millions in research to find the bliss point that makes these foods irresistibly addictive. And now, get ready to find out how that healthy frozen meal may be hurting your heart more than fast food. 8. The false convenience. The dark secret of frozen foods that is reducing your life expectancy. Frozen meals are a practical solution for seniors who have difficulty cooking but hide serious dangers. Even options labeled healthy or fitness often contain high levels of sodium to preserve flavor. A single frozen meal can contain more than 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 2/3 of the recommended daily limit. Research from the University of Washington reveals that frequent consumption of these meals is associated with resistant hypertension. The preservatives, stabilizers, and flavor enhancers present in frozen foods can promote chronic inflammation in the cardiovascular system. The process of freezing and reheating often destroys nutrients important for heart health, such as antioxidants and vitamins. Many frozen meals contain refined oils and hydrogenated fats that raise LDL cholesterol levels. A study published in the British Medical Journal linked regular consumption of frozen ultra-processed foods to a 29% increase in the risk of heart disease. Seniors often turn to these meals for convenience, not realizing the cumulative impact on their cardiovascular health. The lack of fiber in these meals impairs cholesterol control and can contribute to weight gain. Researchers at Tufts University found that people who consume frozen foods 5 or more times a week have biomarkers of accelerated aging. These biomarkers are directly related to deteriorating cardiovascular function and increased risk of heart failure. What you'll find out next about the sauces we use on a daily basis can forever change the way you season food. 9. The Hidden Saboteurs. How sauces and condiments are secretly attacking your cardiovascular system. Those sauces and condiments that enhance the flavor of meals are real bombs of sodium, sugar, and harmful fats. A simple ketchup contains approximately 4 grams of sugar per tablespoon, as well as sodium and preservatives. Ranch or Thousand Island salad dressings contain low-quality fats and are high in calories. Studies from the University of Pennsylvania show that regular consumption of these condiments is associated with increased blood pressure. Most ready-made sauces contain monosodium glutamate, an additive that can cause vasoconstriction and palpitations in sensitive people. Soy sauces, teriyaki, and other Asian sauces contain extremely high levels of sodium, some as high as 1,000 milligrams per serving. The American Heart Association warns that excessive consumption of these condiments can negate the benefits of a healthy meal. Many older adults use too much condiments to compensate for the decrease in taste sensitivity that occurs with age. Researchers at the University of Chicago found that replacing industrialized sauces with fresh herbs lowered blood pressure by 20 points. The preservatives present in these products can interfere with endothelial function, compromising the healthy dilation and contraction of blood vessels. A study published in the Journal of Hypertension linked frequent consumption of industrialized sauces to arterial stiffness in the elderly. Even light or low-fat sauces usually replace fat with sugar or sodium, maintaining cardiovascular risk. The next topic will reveal how those supposedly energetic foods are creating a deadly roller coaster for the hearts of the elderly. 10. The deadly roller coaster. Why high glycemic foods are a one-way ticket to heart problems. High glycemic foods like white bread, white rice, and potatoes cause rapid spikes in blood sugar. These peaks are followed by sudden drops that stimulate hunger and create a vicious cycle of overconsumption. Studies from the University of Sydney show that frequent consumption of these foods is directly related to insulin resistance. Insulin resistance is a known precursor to type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease in the elderly. Research from the National Heart Institute reveals that diets high in refined carbohydrates increase triglycerides by up to 30%. Blood glucose spikes cause glycation, a process where sugar binds to proteins, damaging blood vessels. This process accelerates the hardening of the arteries, especially harmful for elderly people who already have reduced arterial elasticity. The Journal of the American Medical Association published a study linking high glycemic diets to increased inflammatory markers. Chronic inflammation is a key factor in the development and progression of cardiovascular disease. Many seniors consume breakfast cereals, breads, and refined pasta as the basis of their daily diet. These habits, over time, can create a metabolic environment that is highly harmful to the cardiovascular system. A 15-year study from Harvard University showed that replacing refined grains with whole grains reduced heart risk by 32%. What's next about restaurant dining will make you think twice before dining out this weekend. 11. The restaurant illusion. How that meal out of home can be your last. Meals in restaurants may seem like special occasions, but they pose serious risks to the cardiovascular health of the elderly. The portions served in American restaurants are, on average, 2 to 3 times larger than the nutritionally recommended amount. A single main course can contain more than 1,500 calories and exceed daily limits for sodium and saturated fats. Studies by Tufts University reveal that 80% of dishes in restaurants contain more sodium than recommended for a meal. Researchers at the University of Illinois found that people who eat out more than 3 times a week are 40% more likely to die from heart disease. Restaurants often use low-quality fats and high levels of sugar to enhance the flavor of food. Even seemingly healthy dishes like salads can contain more than 1,000 milligrams of sodium when served with sauces and toppings. The environment of restaurants encourages the consumption of alcohol, desserts, and starters, significantly increasing caloric intake. A study published in the Journal of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics showed that older adults tend to make less healthy choices when eating out. Social pressure and the festive atmosphere of restaurants diminish vigilance over healthy food choices. Preparation techniques such as stir-fries, creamy sauces, and gratins significantly increase the content of saturated fats. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates that Americans consume 1/3 of their daily calories from meals out of the home. Now that you know the dangers, it's time to figure out how to protect your heart and that of your loved ones. How to protect your heart and live longer. The path to a long and healthy life. The good news is that it's never too late to make changes that protect your heart health. Studies from Harvard University show that even after decades of poor diet, the body can recover significantly. Replacing processed foods with fresh, natural options can reduce heart risk by up to 70%. Vegetables, fruits, whole grains, fish rich in omega-3, and nuts should form the basis of the diet of the elderly. The Mediterranean diet, rich in extra virgin olive oil and low in red meat, is considered the most protective for the heart by cardiologists. Research from the National Institute on Aging shows that it's never too late to reap the benefits of healthy eating. Seniors who made significant dietary changes experienced improvements in blood pressure in just 2 weeks. Reducing salt consumption to less than 1,500 milligrams per day may have the same effect as some antihypertensive medications. Preparing meals at home allows you to control the ingredients and drastically reduce the consumption of sodium, sugars, and bad fats. Herbs and spices such as garlic, turmeric, ginger, and cinnamon have anti-inflammatory properties that benefit the cardiovascular system. Small, consistent changes are more effective than temporary crash diets for long-term heart health. Mayo Clinic studies show that combining healthy eating with moderate physical activity amplifies cardiovascular benefits. Every conscious food choice is a step toward a stronger heart and a longer life. You have the power to transform your health and that of your loved ones with the decisions you make 3 times a day. Remember, your heart works tirelessly for you every second. It deserves the best possible fuel. The true wealth in old age is the health that allows us to enjoy precious moments with those we love. Choose wisely what you put on your plate today to ensure there will be plenty tomorrow.